The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah!
Go Cowboys!
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys, presented by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Now, your hosts, Jesse Holley, Kurt Daniels, and Nate Newton.
What's going on? Happy Victory Monday! That's right, we're back Monday. The Cowboys defeat the Chicago Bears. Put up almost a half a hundred, Kurt. Half a hundred. 49-29. The Cowboys have an offensive explosion. There is no live view of the Tostitos Championship Plaza, but there is a view of us. He is Nate Newton. That is Kurt Daniels. I am Jesse Holley. Together, back again. We are Hanging with the Boys, the sports talk equivalent of Braille. People feel us when we speak. And if you were watching that game Sunday at AT&T Stadium, the Chicago Bears and company felt the Dallas Cowboys in every which way, form, and fashion, hanging 49 points on the Chicago Bears. The Cowboys scored in their first four possessions, touchdowns in their first four possessions, a feat that has not been done since 2005, it was, by the Indianapolis Colts. 14, excuse me.
Against them.
Indianapolis Colts, they scored in their first four possessions. They had things rocking and rolling. It was one of those performances that I think we all needed to see, at least offensively. Now, we'll go through some things that happened defensively.
You're saying this is an offensive team now?
I'm saying that we needed to see a game like this from the offense. You were absent your star running back in Ezekiel Elliott. No problem. Insert Tony Pollard. You felt some kind of way about that?
Oh,
it doesn't matter how you felt about it, Nate. No, I'm messing with you.
No,
but this was one of those games offensively I think Dak needed. And not needed in the sense of he needed to prove to the world that he could still play football at a high level. I think he needed it, and we needed it to see, from what I took from it was, this was a guy who looked in control. He looked confident. He looked comfortable. He looked like he was the old Dak. He didn't look like he was questioning where the ball should go. It didn't look like he was pump faking a lot or hesitant in his decision making. He looked like he was back and true to form, and that was something that we needed to see. And before I get to these guys, reminded that this segment is brought to you by Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. I'll start with you, Nathaniel. Your boy Zeke was out, but it didn't matter. Tony Pollard, 131 yards rushing on 14 carries, 9.4 yards a carry. What do you got to say about that, man? And is there now a running back controversy?
Only in the mind of the weak. And I'm serious about that. It amazes me. And if you talk to Coach McCarthy personally and out in the open, he tell you, these are my guys. They both have their strengths. They both have their weaknesses. We know how to use them. They do their job. And this is what's so amazing is Tony only carried the ball 14 times. Mm-hmm. He has been in other situations where he's carried the ball 11, 12, 14 times. Yeah. When you get hot as a player, you know there's just sometimes the door is open. And all you need is a crack. Well, yesterday he had more than a crack. Oof. If you look at the holes that were put there.
He had some gaping holes.
He took advantage of it. My hat's off to Tony Pollard. Great job. Zeke comes back whenever he comes back and be who he is. Now, Malik Davis did a nice job. Mm-hmm. Dak carried the ball 5 times for, I think, 33 yards and a touchdown, 25 minutes long. These guys are working with taking advantage of their moments. Tony Pollard took advantage of his moment on a big stage. I still feel the same way. I still say that they are one unit. One will not survive long without the other because the books get wrote and get clearer and clearer on how to stop someone. So I love what Tony Pollard did. I'm about, first and foremost, this is what I've been taught. I'm about winning first. Now, the characters that fit into them blocks, or those circles, or those squares, may change. But at the end of the day, Nate knew about the Dallas Cowboys winning, and they won handsomely.
Yeah.
Kurt,
You knew that the people were going to start crying, oh, we need Pollard, more Pollard. Pollard's a better back and such. But I agree. I mean, this isn't like quarterback where it's one or the other.
Yeah.
When you use both of them, there can be running – I don't know if it was McCarthy or Jerry said, you've got 2 number ones on this team. Why let one overshadow the other? They should be equal. You should run who's hot. You should, this, that. One provide that spark, the other provide that muscle. It's a great problem to have, and I think the way that Kellen Moore can use them and continue – he's used them in the past and continues to use them – is you use them both. You don't –
the way he used
separate
them yesterday, inside, short yardage, Tony was very explosive, exploding into guys, outside, the nice pass, where they had a pass for about 26 or so yards. The way they used him, which that's the way I envision him. I think where we get lost at, and I keep telling folks where we getting lost at, not Jesse, not Kurt, but and we get lost during the off season, or we get lost when we say Cap. Now Cap turns you against Zeke. Oh, well, he's making $12 million, and Tony on his. But guess what, y'all? Tony's up.
Yeah.
Tony's up, y'all. Since that's how they look at him.
Yeah.
I don't look at him like that. I look at him like he's an integral part and a very important part of the Dallas Cowboys. He's explosive. They're using him correctly, and they still only used him, I think, altogether about 18, 19 times.
No, it's less than that. I think.
Yeah,
14 runs and 1 catch.
Yeah.
And I talked to people during training camp. A few guys, I'm not going to call their names because I think they were just basically talking because I was like, man, Tony, wow, man, why y'all don't get Tony more? I mean, he's explosive. Why y'all don't give him more reps? Just throwing that out there. And the person I was talking to was a higher-up official. He said, because we know he's at his best under 20.
Yeah.
We know he's at his best under 20.
I like what you said. I wonder what you think is that you can't have one without they feed off each other.
Right.
Over the long term, you need them both. I mean, what was it you said? I can't remember the exact quote. You just said it a minute ago.
Yeah.
I'm losing my mind, but it's like you need one without the other. They need each other.
Yeah.
See, the thing about it is, Zeke can hammer, and he can do it back to back. And now, I mean, he's injured. He hammered last year, injured. This year here, they saying, no, Zeke, we got this. We don't need you to hammer injured. What you don't want to do is take a very, very great athlete who's very, very explosive and try to turn him into he never did it at Memphis. He never did it at high school. He never so if this kid he didn't even do it in Pop Warner. Yeah. They was interviewing him saying, when the last time you had 17 carries? He like, I don't think I never had 17 carries.
This when you talk about giving more Pollard or making Pollard the de facto number one and loading him up and being able to do it, I was a part of a team in an experiment and an experience that didn't fare well. Back in the day, God rest my good friend Marion Barber, when he was tag teamed up with Felix Jones.
Yeah.
And it gave that 1-2 punch where Marion would come in and do what he did very well, and then Felix would come in and they would run plays, would do what he did very well. Well, then it came down to that whole where we're getting ready to hit of, contracts, paying guys. Felix was the first round pick, and it went on to, instead of keeping Felix in that lean, mean shred machine.
You remember that, don't you?
Oh, they said, no, you bulk up. You bulk up, and we're going to make you the featured back. And it was the beginning of the end for the back in Felix Jones because he had went and put on all this weight and got bulked up, and his body just couldn't. He had never carried that much weight. And he lost his ability to be elusive and fast and fast twitch. And so for a game like this, what you see Tony Pollard, and I think you guys are both making fantastic points of, and whoever that was that you were talking to he is more efficient when he's under 20 carries. And you saw that yesterday, and trust me, if you can get 131 yards and 14 carries, I'll take that any day, all day, twice on Sundays, noon games, 3 o'clock games, Monday night game, whatever it is. And that's an efficient factor. So they got the running game going the way they needed it to go. But, Kurt, I want to go to you and the quarterback.
Okay.
With Dak Prescott, this is a guy who's, we know what he was week one, right? And we saw that happening in week one. And then, he's out for 5 weeks and the Cooper Rush experience happens. And then he comes back and it's like, okay, it's an okay game against the Detroit Lions. But this was the game that he came out. And again, he took charge of this offense. And it looked like old Dak. Like he looked like, as Jerry would say, he was spinning that thing. He got a little greedy, and he admittedly so. He said, I was feeling a little good, so I figured I'd try to stroke one more in there, and it didn't quite go where it needed him to go. But is that something that you look at from Dak Prescott and go, man, we can have – because 27 passes. You talk about an efficient football game. He was 21 of 27 for 250 yards and a couple touchdowns.
And an interception.
2 touchdowns and, an interception. That's a 114 quarterback rating. Is that the type of football game that Dak Prescott has to play every single game in order for this team to be a Super Bowl contending team?
Well, he's going to have to play that way against the good teams for sure. I think that was, as much as we talk about this is a defensive team and we got to gear towards the defense and all that, which in the big picture they do, they're not going to get far if their quarterback isn't who he needs to be. And I think we saw that yesterday. Now, again, he was playing a Bears defense that was struggling. It's not by any means the best in the business, but they need that kind of performance, that kind of game management where he's not trying to do too much. He did on the interception, but overall, he, like you said, he had command of the game. They're going to need that from him as they do face the Eagles again and get in the playoffs, that kind of thing. You know
what was interesting to me, and Mike McCarthy alluded to this early in the week. He talked about one of the things offensively that was a blinking light. It was a blinking light. It's something that stood out to us. It means something, and it matters, and it's been a thorn in the side of the Cowboys offensively this season, and that's third down. They were ranked 30th in the National Football League on third down conversions. Yesterday, they were 9 of 11, 81%, basically 82% conversion rate on third down. Like, to me, that goes back to a place where we kick him when he's down as far as Kellen Moore and when he does some of that glitchy stuff, and Dak Prescott when he sometimes gets away from himself. But I thought yesterday they had married a game plan from start to finish that was so smooth. And even in my notes, I remember I'm writing down notes and I'm looking at this stuff as the game is going on. And I just stopped. And I just wrote W-O-W, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, and I underlined it 3 times. Because I thought offensively they put on a type of teach-tape clinic with the way they were using they used every area of the football field. They had the running game going. They were in 3 tight end sets at times when you had the young boys in there. Mm-hmm. Schultz got going. They finally started throwing the ball to Michael Gallup in ways that Michael Gallup can be successful. See, the whole curls and hitches, anything that he has to start, stop, and start again is not a good route for him right now. Oh, but if you can keep him on the move, if you can get him in slants or bang 8 post or deeper slants or quick out routes or fade balls, those are the routes that get Michael Gallup going. They got CeeDee Lamb in there. He's kind of hit his average 5 catches, 70-something yards. Everyone was eating in this offense yesterday, and when you have an offense as potent as that, where everyone becomes a viable option in the offense, whether in the running game or the passing game, I think this team becomes really, really, really hard to beat. And yesterday, I thought Kellen Moore and Dak Prescott, Mike McCarthy, whoever the hell you want to put in this mix of how it happened. And that was very, very a welcoming sight. And it gave me at least confidence that if they can keep at this pace, that it's going to be really hard to beat this football team. But they must clean some things up defensively. And we'll go to a break.
6 for 6.
We'll go for a break.
Third downs, halftime.
They were 6
for 6.
There you go. That's 100%.
And then we all of a sudden turned into mad scientists and threw an interception.
We're going to talk about this team defensively and still the area that they have to improve on if they're realistically going to be a Super Bowl contending team. Stay right here with us. It's Hanging with the Boys. We're coming right back after this break.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of fan you are. So whether you're a diehard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they made just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great seats.
Star Sports Tours is the only official fan travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys, offering exclusive game weekend travel packages with pre-game sideline access and photo ops with current players, cheerleaders, and Cowboy legends. You want to stay at a team hotel, attend the best tailgate party in Texas, tour the Star, and talk X's and O's with me, Everson Walls? With Star Sports Tours, you can. Visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today.
Hey Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
Back to Hanging with the Boys.
Welcome back. We lit, we live, we local right here at the Star, the SWBC studio. We are celebrating Victory Monday. The Cowboys whooped up on them Bears. So now, so far, if we're doing the math right, it's I'm not scared of Lions. We beat Tigers, Bengals. We beat and Bears. Yeah. So we took care of the nursery rhyme. We ain't scared of Lions, Tigers, and Bears. The Cowboys got this thing up and rolling as they head into a much-needed bye week. There's a bunch of guys who are banged up on this football team, and we'll talk more about that more in the show. But this segment is brought to you by Blockchain, blockchain.com. Also, Q Barbecue Fest. Miller Lite is proud to bring you the Q Barbecue Fest Dallas. Come out to Miller Lite House at AT&T Stadium this weekend, November 4th through November 6th, for the best barbecue in the country. Get your tickets today at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium. Get that barbecue. I had some brisket on Sunday from Lockhart at the game.
That's a good spot.
I mean, that thing be hitting something serious down there at Texas Live. If y'all never do anything, not you guys. I know you guys are always working, but for the fans, if you're not doing nothing, y'all guys can always come out and see me at Texas Live, where I do my thing over there every single Sunday for the Cowboys game, home and away. So come holler at your boy. But as we get more into this game, Cowboys defeat the Bears 49-40 burger, almost a half 100 to 29, a really impressive victory for the Cowboys as they head into the bye week. And we speak about this thing on the defensive end. Nate, you always talk about time of possession. And the Bears, they had the time of possession. And I don't know if that played a factor into that defense. Well, no, they did win the time of possession. So I don't know if that means that the defense was out there a little bit longer. The Cowboys had just signed Jonathan Hankins because they were figuring if this may be the missing piece for us defensively. Mm-hmm. We have an all-world player in Micah Parsons. We like the pieces that we have around him with Tank, with Fowler, with Sam Williams, who did not play due to injury, but other guys like Watkins and Osa and Bohanna and all those guys. We got some steady Eddie linebackers and Leighton Vander Esch and Anthony Barr. They're not killing the scene, but they're not hurting you, killing you they're steady Eddie. They're good, but they're not great. And then on the back end, you just have outside of Anthony Brown, who has been just getting picked on the last couple of weeks, haven't been a really good football player. You have your all-world player and Pro Bowler in Diggs. But they allowed 240 rushing yards. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, it was because of Justin Fields and all this other stuff. Even if you take away the amount of yardage what Justin Fields ran for, and I think it was 60.
Right.
You're still talking about them giving up 180 rushing yards from running backs. And this has been a long, frustrating conversation when it's come to this defense. It's the one mark that they haven't been able to check off. And I've said this 100 times before. I'm always thinking playoffs. I'm always thinking when it matters. I'm always thinking one-game scenarios, not season scenarios, one-game scenarios where a team has to put together a plan to beat you one time. Mm-hmm. Over the last couple of years, the Cowboys have been defeated because they have not been able to stop the run. And it was on display again yesterday. Kurt, what do you do? What do you say? How do you fix this? Is this personnel? Is this schematic? Is this just one of those things where you're saying, hey, guys, we're going to be a bad run defense?
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of wondering. There's a theory out there that Chicago couldn't pass. I mean, they just don't have a great passing game, so they were going to run the ball. I mean, they're down by 2 scores, and they're still running the ball. I mean, that's just what they're going to do. And so, yes, they are going to rack up some yards. Plus, there's some people asking, was Dallas like, sure, run the ball, eat up that clock. We've got a 2-score lead. If you want to churn your way down the field, we're just going to let you eat up the clock, and that'll be fine. And we always talk about making a team one-dimensional. They made them one-dimensional. I mean, all they could do was run. So do you think that was intentional? Was that a plan? Or did they just they couldn't stop them and there's nothing you do? Now, of course, the worry is when you start facing the 49ers of the world or the Eagles, can you suddenly turn it on and stop somebody? But I don't know. It's hard to tell from this game yesterday. Are they really that bad at run defense, or is it just part of their mindset?
Nate?
I'm with you, Kurt. You wanna say we brought in Jonathan Hankins, and my question is, I don't want to get overboard. It's been Detroit, it's been the Bears. In games like this in my past, win the game. They won the game. They worked on some things they needed to work on offensively. They didn't do what they wanted to do run-wise defensively. But we keep saying 29, 30, 49, and half 100 and all of this. You're going to give up something if a team scores 29 points. They didn't give up much in the passing game. Actually, an interception got taken away from them. So let's just see. Time going to tell on this run defense thing. Time going to tell. Now, you don't want to tell where it may knock you out of having a first week at home a bye week. You don't want it to tell on you like that, but time gonna tell. Time gonna tell.
So here is a statistic when I look at it, and you start talking about a team that didn't pass the ball efficiently or didn't pass the ball a lot in this game. When I go look at the tackles, when I start seeing that your leading tackler with 7, Donovan Wilson, your second leading tackler with 6, these are all solo. Mm-hmm. Jaron Kearse. Mm-hmm. Your third leading tackler, solos. Mm-hmm. Trayvon Diggs. You don't get to a linebacker of someone who's supposed to be in the action until your fourth leading tackler, and that's Leighton Vander Esch at 4 solos. Now, all of those guys combined for 8 tackles. The numbers that I gave you are all solo tackles, but Donovan Wilson, 7 solo tackles, 1 assisted. Kearse, 6 solo tackles, 2 assisted. Trayvon Diggs, 6 solo tackles, 2 assisted. Leighton Vander Esch, 4 and 4. And then you got Dante Fowler. I'm sorry, Dante was 5. So you really don't get to a linebacker. Yeah, Dante was 5. So you're looking at that statistic and you're saying, when your DBs and safeties are having to fill in and have all these tackles, that tells me that there's something functionally wrong in the first 2 levels. Yeah. And this isn't the first time. When we go back to the Detroit game, we talk about Malik Hooker, had 12 tackles.
Yeah.
and he's your free safety. This isn't a guy who's down in the box like at times Donovan Wilson is or Jaron Kearse is. This is a guy who's the last line of defense. So for me, I look at this and I go, man, there's so many plus that happen on this defense. And I'm going to die on this hill of believing that there has been a fundamental mindset that has come forth for this defense that we're all about the sack party.
Okay.
That we're all about going to get the sack. Because I listen to what the guys say. I watch the guys on the field, and I watch Tank Lawrence 2 or 3 times in that game, knowing I'm playing a mobile quarterback, and yet and still you
Rush
come in
inside.
there inside, out of control, and he spins out and gives up big yardage.
Yeah.
So to me, that tells me that there's a lack of focus on what you're supposed to be doing.
So it's not necessarily a lack of talent or bulk. It's just a lack of responsibility, taking care of where you're supposed to be.
I think guys are more dead set on we're going to have fun at the quarterback, and and sometimes not even being situational aware of.
If you listen to the post games and they saying exactly what you're saying. If you listen to the post game, Parsons, if you listen to the post game, they are saying exact. When they were in run set, we were in get after the passer mode. What has to happen here? What has to happen?
But let me just say this. Let me pose this question to you, Nate. Isn't that something that when you look at it, you go, how is it that you come into a game when you put on the film and the first thing that Coach Quinn puts on the board is, hey guys, this is the #1 rushing team in the National Football League. How does your mind go? We're going to get the quarterback as a sack, right? Like, You see what I'm saying? It's like, what was your mindset when you had to go out and you always say Jerome Brown or Reggie White, or like, isn't your mindset differently, your focus set differently when you had to go up against those guys?
But that's where Coach Quinn got to reestablish what your roles are as a defensive tackle, as a defensive end, what your roles and what your rules are. And you have to work on it. They rushed the ball 49 times yesterday. And like I said, to a man, they went basically just what you just said. You know, fellas, I'll say it and I'll continue to say it. You have to earn the right to rush the passer. And if these dudes don't figure it out, it'll get figured out for them. If Coach Quinn can't help them figure it out, or Leon Lett can't help them figure it out, it'll get figured out again, and then we'll be sitting here at the end of the year saying, wow. But I'm thinking that if you're going to do business on this bye week as a coach, I got to believe with all my heart that Coach Quinn is sitting down with his defensive line coach and his linebacker coach saying, this can't happen, fellas. We all – see, this is the thing that Jesse, Kurt, Shannon, when he used to be here, and probably every talk show host – because I've been on this forever. Fellas, what happens in the playoffs when they come out and rush for 160 yards and they can dictate to us? How many times have you heard me say that? Yeah. Well, right about now, our defense is flying high. And I'll ask that same question. You brought in Jonathan Hankins, and you gave up even more yards. I'm being honest, Jess. You gave up even more yards.
That's funny. That is funny.
And this is what hurts. Is it don't bother me that the safeties are the leading tacklers, but you're not tackling. Because guess what? Once again, we're not going for the sure tackle anymore. We're going for the turnover. You can see guys just swiping at the ball. Guys running. So now you got to get back to basic fundamentals in the middle of a season after a bye week. Pull up who we playing, man.
You got the
good runners
Packers
coming up.
The Packers coming out of the bye week.
Okay, the
Then
Packers.
You got Minnesota.
With
that's who I'm worried about.
That's what, Jacksonville?
then it's the Giants with
The
Barkley.
Giants. The thing
And
is,
the Colts with
you playing teams.
top rusher.
See, this is what I'm saying. You're going to play teams that is equal to your talent. And your questions are what we do in the playoffs. My question during the regular season is, what do we do when we play talent that is equal to us or better, where it's going to come down to coaches not making certain calls, players not doing certain things. In this case, we can't have that bad boo-boo ball at the end of the half. Mm-hmm. In this case, we have to tackle. Do we going to get beat because that team is equal or better than us? That's what I'm waiting on.
Yeah.
See, I'm going to go along with we flying high, half 100, the 40 burger. I'm going along with everybody else. But my question going to remain, during the regular season, what do we do against teams that have equal talent or better? Philadelphia, what happened?
And most people,
Tampa Bay, what happened?
And people will say, "Here's I'm just playing devil's out." The rebuttal will be, as it's been, we had Cooper Rush. That's going to be the rebuttal. Is that we had Cooper Rush
with Tampa?
I'm just saying that's what they're going to say. They're going to say they're going to say that Tampa was an anomaly, and that Philadelphia, we didn't have our quarterback. Right. And then they're going to all revert back to saying, if we get this game from Dak Prescott against Philadelphia, then that changes the outlook of that game. Yeah. Now, we're all projecting. We don't know that. We don't know what quarterback's going to show up that game.
I'm going to tell you.
But I do believe that if you have Dak Prescott in that Philadelphia game, you got a much better chance. But that's going to be the rebuttal for people when they say that.
The thing that we forget, see, when you look at the Philadelphia game, you got to understand your wide receivers were not open at all. That ain't had nothing to do with the delivery of the quarterback. That had the quarterback looking at like, ain't nothing there.
Let me make this announcement before we go to break. There's two announcements that I want to make. There's a blockbuster trade that's happened just now in the National Football League.
All right.
Roquan Smith, the linebacker we just faced from the Chicago Bears, has just been traded to
no, it ain't.
The Baltimore Ravens.
Thank you.
Yeah. Roquan Smith has been traded to the Baltimore Ravens per all of them. Everybody's saying it. Rap sheet.
Everybody.
At Rap sheet, whoever.
Anybody else?
No, that's
they got
it. Right.
A second and a 5.
A second round and a fifth round pick for Roquan Smith. But I want to say this before we go to break. This is a stat that I saw from R.J. Ochoa from the Atlantic. I don't know whoever he works for, whatever. But from R.J. Ochoa. Yeah, this goes back to the thing that I was talking about. The Cowboys being more committed to the sack than they are to. It always sounds weird when I say that because people cut that out like the sack. They're more committed to getting the quarterback sack than they are to actually stopping the run. Through 8 games last season, the Cowboys had 16 sacks and 14 turnovers. This season, through 8 games, the Cowboys have 33 sacks and 13 turnovers, and you can attribute 5 of those 13 to last week. Yeah. So I mean that came in bunches. So it's a lot lower than what we had, after you play the Lions game. But 33, almost double.
I just want to know what the running was.
Just double. And I'll say this: the scoring is down significantly. The passing is down significantly in the National Football League as a whole this year, and especially in the division that we play in the NFC. It's down significantly. But yeah, those numbers go to there. Blockbuster trade: Roquan Smith traded to the Baltimore Ravens for a second and a fifth. We're going to go to break. When we come back, the Cowboys are on a bye week. Our show changes a little bit. Our show changes a little bit, but what I want to hear from you two guys is, what is something that coaching, whether that's Mike McCarthy or Kellen Moore or Dan Quinn or whoever, what is something that coaches need to go in and kind of self-scout and try to improve on coming out of the bye week that you think that will help this team become a Super Bowl contender with the rest of the games that we have left? Stay right here with us. This is Hanging with the Boys. We'll be right back.
Hey, Cowboys fans, ready to spice up your next watch party? Bring Yo Quiero guacamole and be the game day hero. Yo Quiero means I want, and we know you want great, fresh-tasting, ready-to-serve guacamole for your home gating and tailgating events. Made with real avocados and the perfect blend of spices, it will be the star of any party. You can find us at your local Albertsons or Tom Thumb in the deli section. If you can't find it, talk to your store manager and tell them, Yo Quiero guacamole.
SeatGeek has your back no matter what kind of Cowboys fan you are. So whether you're a diehard fan or a don't really care fan, a we got 'em next time fan or we'll never win again fan, a here for the tailgate fan or a first one through the gates fan, SeatGeek not only makes buying and selling tickets easier than ever before, they made just about everything else easier too. So whether you're a here every week fan or haven't been here in years fan, SeatGeek has you covered. Download the SeatGeek app today. SeatGeek, your ticket to great Dallas Cowboys seats.
I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com is one of the most trusted ways to buy, sell, and trade crypto. Whether you're always on the go or stay closer to home, Blockchain.com is just a few taps away. Put the power of crypto in your pocket, so no matter where you are, you can trade on your terms and build a crypto portfolio to fit your life. For crypto pros, rookies, and anyone in between, Blockchain.com makes it easy to own a piece of the future. Blockchain.com, trusted by millions, trusted by America's team.
Hey, Cowboys fans, if you're thinking about attending a game this season, visit cowboystravel.com to book your travel package today. Stay at the team hotel, have dinner with a Cowboys legend, and experience AT&T Stadium's exclusive VIP Owners Club. Also, tour the Star, get autographs from your favorite players, and talk X's and O's with me, Mickey Spagnola. The official travel partner of the Dallas Cowboys will take care of all your travel needs. Visit cowboystravel.com.
Back to Hangin' with the Boys.
Welcome back to Victory Monday. We are excited. We are ecstatic that Cowboys defeated the Chicago Bears 49-29. An offensive explosion. And they even had a touchdown from one Micah Parsons. That's just, what a bonehead play by Justin Fields where the fumble happens and you're literally right there and you jump over the player, not touch them down. That sometimes young players, they have these brain farts at times and thinking, this ain't college no more. You ain't in Kansas no more. I know you went to Ohio State. Please don't text me and tweet me and be like, you went to Ohio State. That's
yeah, you know that.
I know you know what's coming. But this ain't Kansas. You ain't in Kansas no more, my guy. Right. You got to touch the guy down. Micah Parsons does what he does. Hustle and effort, gets the fumble, takes it back for a touchdown to help the Cowboys extend their lead. 49-29, the Cowboys defeat the Bears, and they head into their bye. Now, for most of the guys, when you head into the bye, it's, I need to get some rest. I need to get some of these ailments healed up. I need to reset. I need to get my mind away from football. You saw Micah Parsons come in and out of this game more than you've seen him kind of, all season long.
Yeah, he looked pretty gassed there.
Yeah, he looked gassed. He was sitting on the side. Some may say that Micah has a little bit of diva in him. But when you see the effort that he puts out there, a lot of times it's hard to question that. But
he walks the walk.
Yeah, he does walk the walk. And I guess when you are that good, you can have a little diva in you. But he seemed like a guy who needs to be put on in a hyperbaric chamber and just let him heal. Or one of those baths that, remember in that movie?
Let me ask him, hey, get this stat. Let me know how much what's the time of possession on average for this team?
For this team.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That bath that Angelina Jolie took, she went to refresh. What was that? It was that gun movie where they made the gun. Whatever that was. They need to get in one of those baths. That's what it is. You need to get in one of those baths where he can rejuvenate.
They put it in wax. They put it in wax.
Put Angelina in wax. Get in the tub with Angelina. See if that don't.
He'll probably be really tired after that.
That might rejuvenate you though. You let a couple of those things off in there. But I asked you guys before the break, and while Kurt, you're looking that up, I'll start with you, Nate. Offensively, that's position that you played in your time in the NFL. Between Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore, when they sit down during this bye week before they get a chance to go break and spend time with their significant others or by themselves, however they want to spend it, What is something that you think that they need to collectively sit down and work on and improve in or change or overhaul or tighten up offensively that will be able to help this Cowboy team?
Well, for me, they got to bring in Coach Philman and continue to just invent ways to run the ball so they won't just be looking the same. Invent ways to have positive downhill runs, not the reverse thing. Just get together and clean up the games, the tackle stunts, the down where the defensive man come down, the defensive tackle come down, linebacker come. Just make sure you clear because there's going to come a point where we're going to have to pass. And so we got to be clean and we got to be right. We got to get our right tackle right because it's going to be a series where we're going to go 7 to 8 passes straight in a row to try to get back in the game. So he's got to be set. So better work on the techniques of your offensive line with Coach Philman. Find out a few more ways how to run the ball. Do you have that for me?
Time of possession for the Cowboys is 27 minutes, 36 seconds, which is second to last.
I try to tell people.
And I'm playing devil advocate, a little caveat, 5 weeks of that, you had Cooper Rush at quarterback. Okay, finish.
All of that, well, yesterday they only had 27 minutes.
True.
So that was our big dog.
Yep, $40 million.
You mentioned something. Look at where all our injuries are really based on, and it's where defensively.
Yeah.
Why? 32+ minutes a game.
Good point.
If we started yesterday 6 for 6 at halftime on third downs. We finished the game with 9 and 11. But we jumped out so far, and we put the Bears back in the game till it hurt us. But they never abandoned the run. So that's 49 physical. We getting after your defense. That hurts. So our offensive line coach, our head coach, and our offensive coordinator got to find ways to make sure we take advantage of every possession and get the most out of that possession. Nick Saban is great at it. This guy for the New York Giants, they good at it.
Brian Daboll.
Get all you can out of every possession because the strength is your defense. Get every ounce out of that offensive play. And that right there allows your defense, if our defense played 28 minutes a game, how devastating an impact they would be. And so that's what they have to do. Find out ways to get the most out of every offensive play. We can't play gambler football anymore if we expect to get to the next level. And so, and I'm going to go with you defense too, or you want to go to Kurt?
No, I'm going to let Kurt do defense.
Okay. All right. No, I want to say something about the defense too.
We'll let Kurt say something, and then we'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Kurt, defensively, Dan Quinn and company, what do you think something they have to do to improve, to put themselves in a position to solidify this team as being a serious Super Bowl contender?
Yeah, I mean, the easy answer is stopping the run, and how they do that, that's the big question. I mean, I don't know if it's a talent thing, if it's a mental thing of just staying in the lanes. I mean, I don't know what the answer could be there. I mean, Hankins came in I was surprised how much Hankins played yesterday.
33 snaps.
Yeah, and he seemed to do, he held his, considering, he'd only been here a couple of days, he seemed to do all right. But I don't know if is that a case of they ran so much because he wasn't sure where to go in this scheme, or do other guys see him come in and think, oh, he's got it, and we'll go rush the quarterback? Or
Hankins and Damone Clark yesterday played some significant snaps. Damone Clark, who just came off the neck fusion, has been elevated. He got him out of that 21-day window. He played a lot of snaps yesterday. I thought he had some good plays, thought he had some bad plays, couldn't get off blocks. But that also could have contributed when you have the guy who's in the middle of that defense up front, and then the guy who's behind him at middle linebacker, both trying to struggle to get off blocks and stuff like that. Could have contributed. But Nate, go ahead.
These guys, it's on the players. I mean, Bohannon, Hankins, Gallimore, Tristan Hill, that's their job. Do your job. Do your job. Oh, stop looking across the fence. You're not You're not that freak this boy talk about, that Jesse talk about. You're not number 90. Do your job. As we play the better teams, you're going to have to earn the right to rush the passer. That means offensively, we got to give them every opportunity to rush that pass by having a lead. Mm-hmm. If we don't have a lead, if we're even with most teams, they already know the kryptonite. They already know that the run is what's going to separate them from us. We got to take that away. If we don't ever defensively take that away, we'll be sitting right here. Well, and Jesse will be saying, well, y'all, here we ruined it in the playoffs again. And I'm going to be like, well, you could have saw that if we'd have just watched the teams we played during the season. Yeah. Every team that has had equal ability as athletes, we have lost that game. Right. Now, and I'm not taking nothing away from what happened yesterday. 40 burger, hey, go to Whataburger wherever you want to go eat.
Don't go to Whataburger.
But I promise you this right here. Better teams are coming. And if we don't play smart offensively and defensively, it's not going to work.
Talking about real quick before we get out of here, I mean, tomorrow's a trade deadline. Do they need to fix some of these problems with the move?
Quickly, Jess. That's
go get a receiver. That's quickly enough. All right, guys, listen up. We're going to be switched up this week. Every one of us has a different show that we'll be doing.
That will be enhancing.
That will be, They always want us to go and do other shows so that we can bring the other shows up. They want this energy and this juice spread across, the gooch juice spread across all of the landscape. So they want to do that this week. So we'll be only working Tuesday and Wednesday, and then we'll have Thursday and Friday off. Correct?
Right.
Correct. Yes. So see us on all of our platforms. I don't know where we'll be around.
I'm 9 tomorrow morning.
I think 2 o'clock, and then you're still
here.
You're here, same time, same place. So Kurt still be here, and they'll allow some people to come in and learn from us.
I don't know, we work together.
That's all good. They want this thing spread around a little bit, man. But the Cowboys had a great victory. They go into the bye week. They get a chance to rest up and recharge themselves. Who would have thunk it? 6-2 at the bye week when you had to deal 5 weeks with the backup quarterback. I mean, that is remarkable. And this team has done far and exceeding well as we thought they would, and that's a good thing that you can build on that and continue this thing coming out of it. You got to finish out the NFC North with games against the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. I know that Aaron Rodgers and company isn't playing well, but there's something about a team that at times just has your number.
You gotta go there.
Ask LA when they had to play the 49ers. I don't care how it is, they just always have their number. So the Cowboys need to get healthy, come back, refocus, and come out of this thing humming because this thing's going to come down to the end of the season. It's going to come down. It's going to be a 2-horse race in this NFC. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to find yourself losing games that you should be winning, and that's dropping you in the standings at the end of the year. So you may have to go on the road and play somebody that you don't want to play in a one-game scenario. But Cowboys win. That's a huge, huge, huge accomplishment for those guys. Great this point of the season. Now they got to just finish this thing out too. I want to say shout out to Chris Brown and his wife Danielle. They just got the keys to their brand new house. Congratulations to you all. Be safe tonight, Halloween, trick or treat safely. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't just be out there willy-nilly. Stay off the roads as you possibly can. If you're giving out candy corn, your house should be egged. Completely egged if you're giving out candy corn. Candy corn is the worst candy that you could ever give out on Halloween. So for all of you who like candy corn or give out candy corn, I hope your house gets egged and TP'd tonight. For Nate Newton, for Kurt Daniels,
man,
for Chris,
happy Raven, happy trick or treat Ravens.
For Chris,
Lord Jesus, man.
For audio jazz, for brother Willie.
Why we couldn't have got Raven? Why we couldn't have got
Rokan? Well, we got Micah. I am Jesse Holly. This is Hanging with the... We still got time. Jerry might do something in the midnight hour. This is Jesse Holly. We are Hanging with the Boys. We appreciate you. We love you. We together will see you next Monday as you guys enjoy the shows throughout the landscape of the .com network. We out this piece. See you.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!